You might be wondering what this chapter is about based on the title. I wanted a title that would stand out and that would also convey the message that it was not some meditation technique that is ordinary. Unified meditation had to be different. I wanted to give an image of something big, knowledgeable, and very well researched. The title of this chapter is inspired by my own education in engineering and sciences. As you already know, I couldn't practice what I studied for because I had other interests in my life, like meditation. But that flavor of education never left me, and I wanted to apply what I studied. I loved sciences and I loved math. If there was any regrets in my life, then it's that I couldn't continue my education in the sciences and engineering. However, that would have bored me to death because it would have been purely unidirectional, and I was very eclectic. So even better, I used all my knowledge of the sciences to tackle the problems of management, leadership, and meditation. Anyways, I've talked about it earlier also, so let's go directly to why I call this chapter Biology and Chemistry of the Soul. Biology, because I believe that the soul is a living organism, and I wanted to show to you how it changes, grows, evolves, and transforms. So it's pretty much like the study of the life cycle of the butterfly, or how a baby is born. It has its own anatomy and everything. And a big part of the process is meditation. And then I use the word chemistry to emphasize that there is a lot of reactions in the process of unified meditation, and those reactions lead to new products, new states. So let us begin. This chapter is centered around a meditation process that consists of 30 steps that are distributed in 5 phases. As you read on and you watch my video book, you will feel like it is a guided meditation in the first segment of this chapter. I will describe to you the processes. Then later on, I will explain what you wouldn't have understood without some kind of explanation. I'll be making some assumptions about you as the reader, which I'll talk about in the next subsection. First, I want to talk about the overall structure of the 30 steps and 5 phases. It's a very logical process, and it begins when you close your eyes. Then it ends when, at the time of death, your soul can ascend to the highest level where you don't need to take rebirth, and you will be in an eternal position of bliss. As I told you earlier, this particular technique of unified meditation is a soul based one. Whatever I will tell you to do in this meditation requires the soul to be doing it. Again, as been telling you many times, it's a very thin line between imagination and soul work. This technique is divided into 5 phases, and I will talk to you some things about those phases so that you have a general understanding of where I'm going with while you get into listening or reading the process. So the first phase and the second phase are about the soul. In the first phase, you are going to search the soul. Then in the second phase, you are going to do stuff with your soul. So the objective is to open, activate, and begin the work of your soul. Phase 3 is the same thing that you did with your soul, but now you do it with what I call the meta soul, or the confluence of many souls. In the Bhagavad Gita and the Hindu tradition, that is called Brahma. You will learn about it later on. I will not use the word Brahma, and instead I will call it meta soul level. Anyways, phase 3 and 4 are the same as 1 and 2. First, you've got to find your meta soul, and then in phase 4, you've got to work using your metasoul, that is metasoul work. Once you are able to connect with your metasoul, then in phase 5 you will learn how to make the final ascension of your soul or metasoul. The objective is to become one of the ascended masters. Basically, it's like getting a job in the afterlife. It might sound funny, I know, but that's the best way I can put it about what it means to become an ascended master. Obviously, this last phase is only a practice for the final time of death. You need to understand that unified meditation is very different from other meditations, because it talks directly about the ultimate objective, which is that of liberation and enlightenment and nirvana. I don't want to beat around the bush and confuse people. What I've written in this chapter is the final, raw, unedited truth about the real meditation. Ultimately, meditation is about practicing for the time of death. In fact, every time something goes wrong in our life and we get rejected, dejected, or we fail, it's a mini death. So we can learn from them also, those negative events. But unified meditation is about the final time when you will breathe your last one. The 5 phases that I have talked to you about can be practiced in one sitting. That is possible when you have practiced a lot, and even the single practice will take many forms if your soul and meta soul are really active and it's more than your imagination. It's like walking in the park. If it's not your dream, then there'll always be different scenes, different people, different circumstances, no matter how many times you go in the same park. However, you can practice each phase at one session. At the beginning, it is most likely that this is the format that you will be using because it's a very difficult process. Another thing that is very important before you embark in this guided meditation of the unified meditation process is that all the 20 types of meditation that I explained to you in the earlier chapter are a prerequisite for you to be able to practice this meditation perfectly. In fact, there are more than 20 meditation techniques, and they are just the most popular ones that I have listed earlier. What I'm saying is the technique that you are going to learn, which can be known as the main unified meditation technique, is the crown of all the techniques. Many other things need to happen in order for you to be able to practice that technique that you are going to learn now. Again, that I will talk about in the upcoming chapters. So as you are going to read or watch, listen to me in the coming pages, you might be lost and wondering what or how. Do not worry. I am starting from the end, and I will be teaching you the start and the middle of this process in the later pages and chapters. I am trying to encourage you to learn more about unified meditation by providing you the end problem first and hoping that you will want to learn the what and how. I could have started with the what and how first and went on to the end, but in my understanding, by demonstrating to you what is possible, you will be more motivated to focus in learning the full process. There are some assumptions that I am making about you, so here they are. In the coming pages, I assume that you are interested in meditation and have practiced or try to practice some kind of meditation. They might be one of the 20 meditation types that I have described earlier. I also assume that you will have the patience to listen or to read things that you might not fully understand, yet you would be open to accept that even though you don't understand, it's okay to listen and to be shown that you need to learn more. I'll also be assuming that you have read the earlier chapters and you are very familiar with the concept of soul. So let me begin. As I already told you, this is a soul-based meditation, and based on my assumption that I've listed earlier, I begin my exposition of the ultimate unified meditation technique. I repeat, it might sound like a guided meditation. Do not worry that you don't understand everything and you cannot follow every step that I tell you. Just try your best to follow my instructions. If you want, you can put a earphone and listen to this particular description of the process. Try to do as much as you can, but you'll not have the skills, and I will be talking about those skills and knowledge that you are lacking later on in this chapter. As you sit and your eyes are closed, I want you to control your mind and make it peaceful. Your thoughts must collapse on one another, and it should become very quiet in your mind. Now that your mind is still like a lake that is in a place where there is not a single gusto of wind, I want you to find your soul. Remember, it is that star that's somewhere in your body. It can be in your heart, in your head, in your stomach, in your genital area, in your knees, in your feet. Once you find your soul with your spiritual sight, connect with it. Make a chemical reaction with it. Now, your ego or your I is no more the body and not even the mind. It is the soul that you have found somewhere in your body. Now that you are your soul, use your spiritual sight to see more inside yourself. Try to touch with your spiritual senses. Smell the stuff inside of you, the world that you see. Move around with your soul. Try to develop some extrasensory perception like clairvoyance. Try to see what's going to happen tomorrow or next year. Also, try to see what is happening in other places. Now, recall the meditation block that we discussed about earlier and move your soul in the spiritual world and interact with it. Try to touch the entities in that spiritual world. Try to talk with them in your spiritual language. Now, with your spiritual senses successfully active in the spiritual world, try to go out in the physical world. Step out of your body. Recall how was your room before you closed your eyes and just walk around in that meditation room of yours. Walk with your soul in the house, then nearby the house. Now let us begin phase 2. We know how to connect with the soul and how to use the spiritual senses and move around. Now let's do the real work of unified meditation. I want you to have the strong intention to grow the size of your soul, make it bigger. Also, I want you to transform your soul from good to better, from better to best. I want you to acquire the qualities, the energy that you so much want in order to succeed in both material life and spiritual life. I want you to will your soul to evolve into higher levels of consciousness, or COCs, aka chakra. Now, with your soul having grown, transformed, and evolved, I want you to permeate, to expand, to mix the newfound qualities of your soul, which is mostly of purity and goodness and morality, into your mind. Let your mind become as pure as your soul. This mixing and permeating of the mind continues into the body. By now, the color of your soul must be bright yellow, like gold or white or maybe purple. Visualize this reaction with your mind and body of your soul as a mixing of colors. Let your body too become purified. Don't stop at your physical body. Let your soul's light, brightness expand from the mind to the body, to the spiritual world, into the physical world itself. Imagine an aura or an egg around you filled with this energy that your soul has harnessed because it has grown, transformed, and evolved. At the same time, expand your reach in your spiritual world. Go further, deeper, wider. Do not limit yourself to the entities you meet in front of you. Look for the actual puppeteer, the one who holds the strings of those entities. Try to go higher. No matter how seductive the puppets or the entities at the entry of the spiritual world are. Let that light of your soul expand into the spiritual world like the universe is expanding into the nothingness abyss. You will be given lots of gold coins or powers or extrasensory powers like telepathy, telekinesis, but let go of them. They are of no use in your journey. Like money is useful to some extent, but useless in the long run. These powers also will just drag you down in your journey. So let those gifts from the gods be taken away willingly. Now that you are fully immersed and aware of the full potential of your soul, time has come for you to find the meta soul. You can think of it as the soul of the soul. If your soul was a lake, then the meta soul is the ocean. In this phase 3, we will repeat the same processes we had completed for the meta soul, for the soul, but we'll apply it for the meta soul. Basically, the meta soul is the same as the soul, but bigger and more pervasive, expansive, and powerful. You can think of it as the difference between a staff and a CEO. A staff, a manager, would have some power, but the CEO would have more power. Again, in this meditation, power has a different connotation, but for now, you can think of it in any way that you want. I will teach you along the way about the meta soul rather than in this introduction. Let your soul connect to the meta soul. You will know that your connection or junction has been successful when you will feel your presence is in many places, and you can feel the world from many perspectives. It will feel that your hands are in many places, or you have many hands and many legs. You will be able to feel like a stone, as well as like a tiger, as well as like a person of the opposite gender. You begin to see unity in everything. Now that you feel this meta soul, which is everywhere, expanding, in which there is everything, even your soul, decide to make a reaction with it and unify it, creating a bond like you did earlier with your soul, with your new identity of the meta soul. Try to influence the world, many people, to do the right thing, good things. But at the beginning, just experienced what other people are seeing, how they are seeing, how they are eating, how they are tasting, where they are walking. Just experience the world, their suffering and their joy. This is possible because you are the meta soul now, the soul of the soul. The meta soul has its own powers. It can create amazing synchronicities, create events in a global scale, or at least in local scale that is bigger than you. Create waves in the ocean, prevent accidents. Now that you are the thousands of arms, thousands of legs, thousands of eyes and mouths and nose, interact with the spiritual world and the entities that are there, the various energies, entities. Again, talk with them, move with them, dance with them, fly with them. With this gigantic meta soul of yours, move like an army into the physical world. Let everything you touch and everything you see be happy, be fortunate, be forgiven. In the phase 4, we repeat the same soul work that we did before in phase 2, but we do it with the meta soul. Now that you are at the meta soul level, you have a bigger responsibility, and your growth doesn't stop. It never stops, actually. So even the meta soul has got centers of consciousness, or COCs, aka chakras. Make them grow bigger, larger. Let your meta soul and the thousands of senses that you have acquire the qualities of the universe, so goodness, evolve to higher levels of understanding, even at the meta soul. Because, as I told you, you can never stop learning and growing and becoming a better human being. Now, I want you to permeate your mind with this new state of your meta soul, which should have, again, a bright white or yellow or purple or any good colors. Let your mind expand and acquire the qualities of the meta soul. Think big, think wide, deep. Mix this evolution of your meta soul into your body also. Let your body become all powerful. Again, let energy move from your soul into the body in the form of the colors. Let your meta soul's power of the many thousands arms and legs and eyes move into your physical world also. Now we have reached to the last phase. In this stage, we are going to practice how to make the final ascension when we die. Everybody is afraid of death, but the practitioners of meditation, of the unified meditation, prepare and work for the final ascension. It begins many decades before the final day. This is because when the time comes for us to go, we will be taken by surprise, and we need to practice that moment. And this is what this particular phase is about. You must keep growing the size of your meta soul, the extent it reaches, and transform in order to acquire even more qualities needed to do your job well. After you make the final ascension, you must evolve the qualities to levels of consciousness that will enable you to qualify to that highest position in the spiritual world. So keep the same practice that we discussed earlier as the meta soul. It means that you have to rise above the pettiness of the individuality and think not only globally but universally. Ask yourself, what is your position in the universal system or organization? What is it that interests you? Many people call it the Sanatana Dharma, or the eternal job of one. We all have got a function in the mission of the universe, or the organism of the universe. By thinking deeply on your qualities that you were born with, the interest towards a certain kind of work, you will be able to find out what is your position as a meta soul in the spiritual world. Let the insight and awareness of your eternal job enter your mind. Now concentrate from your meta soul back to your soul, because it is that particular aspect of you that will be responsible to either take you among the ascended masters or back to the living souls. Imagine yourself becoming sick, finding difficulty in breathing, suffering some kind of pain, and still you are able to focus on your soul. Then this one is pure imagination because the event wouldn't have occurred. Imagine that your soul, now with the power of the meta soul, is leaving your body from the crown chakra or COC, and then you are welcomed by your new team of the ascended masters, and like you start your job in a new organization, you start your job in the eternal organism that is of this universe. Before you open your eyes, practice the other contingency that you are not able to make it into the spiritual world as ascended master. This would be because your reaction with your soul and meta soul was incomplete, or you could not exit from the crown chakra, and it is very likely that it's going to happen. In that case, imagine that you are again taking a rebirth in the living soul's world, but just imagine that your own meta soul created the perfect rebirth for you so that you can continue your practice of unified meditation in the next life. You can now open your eyes if you had closed your eyes, and if your eyes were open and you were full of questions, I do not blame you, and you don't have to think less of yourself. Also, I hope that you did not think of me as a lunatic, but this is the ultimate of unified meditation. This meditation was kept secret from the general mass for thousands and thousands of years, and now I just made it public. This technique is encrypted in the Bhagavad Gita, but it's very difficult to decipher, and there is no need for it to be done because I've done it for you. My guided meditation approach might have attracted some of you and repulsed others, and it's okay. As I mentioned earlier, there are many things you need to know in order to be able to do the things that I told you to do earlier in the guided meditation. I will be addressing all the gaps in skills and knowledge that were apparent for any starter in unified meditation in the coming pages. What I wanted to do or achieve in this subsection is to give you a glimpse of my own meditation. I practice mostly this particular meditation technique, but again, I've got hundreds of other variations. Still, the overall common feature of all the meditation techniques that I use is this particular one. I repeat, no matter how lofty this unified meditation might sound or feel, it cannot be achieved in a few days, not even a year, maybe a decade or a lifetime if you are a beginner. However, the benefits are so plenty, and even if you do not achieve the final ascension, you will experience dramatic changes and improvements in the 13 components of consciousness that I have talked so much about earlier. That in itself is lots of reward. The work that you do with your soul opens up the possibility for the transformation of the COCs, improvement in the intelligence, learning, memories, creation of synchronicities, and so on. The benefits of this meditation technique, even though it might just be your imagination at the beginning, are real. And over time, your imagination will cross over into real soul work because the line between them is so thin.